What worries you? What are the uncertainties of your life? What keeps you up at night? What are your greatest concerns? I think these are important questions to think about and to reflect upon and to pray about. When our worries crowd in on us, we often feel alone. They are our worries, and no one else is going to worry about them if we don't, right? No one else is going to bother too much about my uncertainties, are they? In fact, no one probably even knows what they are. And so we think, well, they will eventually go away. Or we think, I can get through this on my own, eventually. Isn't that kind of the mindset in which oftentimes we approach these things in life? But there is another way. We don't have to worry about our worries all by ourselves. The Lord will. The Lord will. Throughout the Gospels, we find Jesus continuously concerned about the people in front of him and the people around him. All of his actions revealed during his time as he walked, they revealed this during the time as he walked all across the Holy Land. His care and concern for us was ultimately displayed on the wood of the cross. We just celebrated that event. And the gospel this morning again reveals his care and concern for the people around him. A crowd followed him because he was caring for the sick. He was the first one to see this large crowd, and he had concern for their physical well-being, asking, where can we buy enough food for them to eat? He has the heart of a good shepherd, always thinking of his sheep and what his sheep might need, because he wants his sheep to confide in him and to make known their worries. When we act alone, we realize that our resources are so small. They're so small. And what happens? Our bodies get tired. Our minds become confused. Our hearts, they don't feel like they normally do. Perhaps things come out of our mouths that we don't want to say. And we forget that the Lord is always seeking to care for us. Have you ever thought about how much the Father feels responsible for you? Seriously, have we really thought about how much the Father, God the Father, feels responsible for us? That's why he sent Jesus. And Jesus is in constant pursuit of us. Why? So that he can care for us. In this story, like so many times, Jesus' response to their problem is a bit counterintuitive. What did he have them do? Slow down, contemplate, and rest. Have them recline, he said. In other words, stop trying to fix the problem alone and turn your eyes toward me. Look around you. If you've been in the Holy Land, most likely this story or this event took place on the Mount of Beatitudes, and it's out looking over the Sea of Galilee. So he's saying, look around you, see the deep blue lake and the verdant hillside where you are sitting. I am in command. Nothing would stop him from feeding his sheep. And Philip wondered, how could this be done? 200 days worth of food wouldn't be enough for them to have even a little. It's only 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish. What good are these for so many, he said. And we too might think, well, I'm only one sheep among Jesus' many sheep. But Christ simply wants us to recline along with all the other 5,000 others who also need him. The Lord is always seeking to care for us. The Father feels responsible for us. That's why he sent Jesus. And we see in this story, in his care and concern for them, in his empathy, Jesus fed them more than they could possibly eat. I have come so that you may have life and have it in abundance. This is part of the abundance. Jesus fed them more than they could eat. Then Jesus took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed them to those who were reclining, and also as much as the fish as they wanted. So he gave thanks. What did he give thanks for? For the bread and the fish and the 5,000 people before him. He gave thanks to the 5,000 people before him, all those who heeded the shepherd's voice. You know, obviously this miracle is filled with Eucharistic overtones. But this generosity of Jesus that we hear about in this gospel story today is leading to only one place. The fullness of his generosity, which was culminated on the cross. And the fullness of this generosity continues again in giving himself here at each Eucharist, feeding his sheep by giving himself to us once again, by caring for us and providing food for all who are hungry and thirsty and weary and worried and concerned. God desires our well-being and wants to share his merciful love, true happiness, joyfulness, peacefulness, not according to what the world offers, but only what he can provide. The Lord is always seeking to care for us. The Father feels responsible for us. This is why he sent Jesus.